from Morehead. Today, slow cooked pork chops and skillet fried potatoes. I like to do my pork chops in this little old slow cooker right here. It has been in this family for decades. And I guess the first thing I need to do to let you know what these settings are, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I went to the website for West Bend, which made this particular slow cooker. It's not the only one, but that's what we own. So when we say we set it on 3, 4, or 5, each of these settings has a specific use. So 3, 4, and 5 is for low, medium, and high cooking. 1 and 2 simply keeps it warm, doesn't do any cooking. Now this is about a 4-quart cooker I've got here, and for a typical meal with meat and vegetables, needs about 7 to 10 hours on a low setting number 3. If you put it on 4, it's 4 to 6 hours, which is a medium. And if you set it on the setting of number 5, it takes 2 to 3 hours. Now that's for a full meal. Today we're only doing 2 pork chops. And I'm going to put them in here, we'll get them started and check them in about an hour to see how they're doing. And I'm going to start them out on, say, number 4, see how that works. So we've got our pork chops laid out here, and as you can see, these are fairly thick pork chops, and I'm going to season them up with nothing more than a little salt and a little pepper. Now the next step in this process, since this is a very old cooker, I like to put a little of this non-stick stuff on there to help keep it from sticking, because this is a very old cooker. Lenore may not do it that way, but that's the way I do it. The next thing I'm going to put in it, cream of mushroom soup. So I'm going to just dump that in there. And since we're only doing 2 pork chops, 1 can will be plenty for this particular recipe. So I'm going to set it on 4. The pork chops, I'm going to rub this salt and pepper into the pork chops. This is a real simple recipe, and these pork chops turn out fall off the bone tender, and they are good. So I've got my cream of mushroom soup in here. I just now turn the heat on. Lay this pork chop in there. Same with this one. Rub the seasoning in. Lay it right down in the cooker. Put the lid on. And we're going to come back in about an hour and see what we've got. One other thing here, this 1 can of soup, if it doesn't cover the pork chops, you can add a little bit of water, because if you don't cover the pork chops, then the top portion is going to dry out on you. So make sure the pork chops are covered, and like I say, if you need to, you can add a little water to make sure that it gets covered. Okay, we're about halfway through this process. It's been about a half an hour. Like I said, we've got it set on number 4. You could do this in the oven in an iron skillet for slow cooking on 5. The temperature's 212 degrees. So that gives you that slow cooking. I checked it earlier and had to add a little bit of water to it to get it up above the pork chops. Halfway through the process, all these pork chops are looking mighty good. So in another half hour, they will be completely done, and we'll be able to turn it down to a 1 or a 2 to keep it warm. And Lenore's getting the skillets out, and we're going to do fried potatoes. Okay, now we're ready to start the skillet fried potatoes. I love fried potatoes, and Lenore has got them down to perfection, at least for me. So Lenore, tell us what you do with these fried potatoes that I like so well.
First, I put a little bit of oil in the skillet. I don't like much oil. It doesn't take much. kind of just make sure there's enough to cover the bottom of the pan. Now, then I'm going to cut up the potatoes, and he likes the onions with his fried potatoes. This is my garbage bowl. I like to have it. It's easier than trying to run to the garbage can with your scraps. You just put everything in here and then throw it away at once. First I'm going to cut the potato in half. Now this knife I got from Pampered Chef, and I use it a lot. I love it. But I'm not going to use it to cut up the potatoes into a finer, smaller pieces. I'm going to turn it on to probably high first. I'll have to turn it down because you don't really want to do your potatoes on high. Just trying to get the grease hot. I'm going to cut up. Probably not going to use this whole half onion. I don't know what this tool is called, but I love it. Just helps you get the stuff into the bowl or pan or wherever. If you see you need a little bit more oil at any time, just put you a little bit more in. Now I'm going to turn it down to medium. I'm going to salt the potatoes and get a lid and put it on. You don't want to cook them too fast because Larry likes them real crispy, and so we don't want to. We want them to get completely done, and then we'll crisp them up. So this is the start of it. So now we just wait, and we'll turn them ever so often. I'm going to take the lid off, and I'm going to check to see how they're doing on the bottom. The ones on the bottom were a little bit brown, and that's what we want. I got this spoon rest from Tater Knobs. It is a place we go when we go for ceramics, for pottery. The lady there is real nice, and she demonstrates while you're there, and I just think the quality of their stuff is very good. We've got several things from there, but I do like the spoon rest. The potatoes are done. The ones that aren't crispy are almost falling apart. You can get more crispy if you want, or less crispy. It's just how you want them. But they're all done, and I'm going to put them in this pan, and I put the paper towel down to soak up some of the oil. Like I said, I don't like a lot of oil. Some people would be offended with this, but it's each person cooks to their taste. Now, it's not wrong if you don't like it this way. It's okay. You just do you. But this is the way we like it. The pork chops are done, so we are going to have soup beans, fried potatoes with onions. Megan, Diana Reeder's daughter, Megan, for Diana's birthday, made her some cheese biscuits. So we're gonna, and she sent us some. So thank you, Megan. I've got them in the oven for a few minutes. Going to heat them up, and we'll have soup beans, fried potatoes, and pork chops.
Okay, the pork chops have been in there now for an hour and 15 minutes. At the 1 hour point, I turned the temperature down to about a 1.5 to keep them warm. They are done falling off the bone. And I want to go back one more time and repeat myself. Settings on these slow cookers 1 and 2 is to keep it warm. 3, 4, and 5.
Yep.
It's different temperature settings. So if you had a big piece of meat with vegetables in there, it could take up to 7 hours or so with a slow cooker. Read the instructions if you have one of these. We absolutely love and use this little slow cooker. Once again, you could do this in an iron skillet, put it in the oven. The highest temperature on this is 212 degrees. So we're going to have lunch. Well, we're sitting down for another meal here. We got pork chops that's been fixed in the slow cooker. They are just falling off the bone, done in that mushroom gravy. Fried potatoes, pinto beans or soup beans, and one of my favorite condiments, cowboy candy. Jalapeno peppers go good on brown beans or soup beans. My second favorite condiment, Frank's Red Hot. So, until next time, another postcard from Morehead.